If you look closely, you can see are actually 2 machine guns, but for some reason only one of them works. Just your regular old command infantry. Woohoo. Well, it's no Mitsubishi Evo. Ah, this looks awfully lot like a Humvee, but no, it's a Hayate. It looks like a flat-packed Gavin. I think there's a few command APCs that have more armor in this. So, you got a cargo? Oh shit, I didn't want you to see my hentai collection. Nice thing about a lot of Japanese aircraft is they have that big red dot, which pretty much gives the enemy a good place to shoot at. A very good ATGM piece, highly recommend. Not too bad, but the weapon loadout is a little bit left to be desired for. Well, hello yeah. You guys are rather cutie, eh? Okay, hand over the rocket launcher. Portable surface-to-air missile. A nice, simple acronym. We could just call it Stinger, that's also a pretty cool name. Alright, regular infantry. Really, if you're playing a Blue Dragon stack, you're just gonna get Korean infantry instead. Good old-fashioned shit-tier artillery. It wouldn't be an every week summarized without one of these motherfuckers. And we just got more. And it's not too bad, but not great either. So the top part looks like it should be holding chickens, not rockets. 30-point half-tracks. I love him. And I have a little bit of love for my 40-point half-track brethren too. Decent long-range anti-air. Bit of a joke, really. It's just like one of my Japanese animes. A Japanese M4A3 Chaparral. Remember before they weren't prototyped and everyone used them in general blue 4-decks? I do. This unit has a pretty good survivability rate because it can never actually get to the front line. So, Japanese mid-range tanks are kinda like Leopard. Look pretty funky and they don't have much armor, but they do have a pretty decent gun for a pretty decent price. And you got that one crazy awesome run, it has a bloody grenade launcher on it, holy shit. The same thing applies to what I said 5 units ago. It's cute, and it's one of the most effective recon vehicles in game, what's not to love? Once again, Japanese infantry aren't exactly great. Same with most of their recon vehicles if it's not a Hatchin Naniseki. Not too bad for 30 points. So supposedly there's meant to be a unit here, but I'm not seeing it. It's a truck. Bradley, eat your heart out. It's an odd looking Humvee, but it's a Humvee. Very generic looking, but you're not going to be thinking it's bland when it's shooting grenade launchers at your face. Oh boy, a recoilless rifle. The missiles look more like surround sound systems and actual weapons of war. Not bad for 15 points really. Not bad for 25 points either. Before the Israelis had 3 machine guns and 5-point transport, the Japanese had 2. A Japanese Ontos. Just your regular old Cobra. It's an alright helicopter. Standard cheap tow missile, a little bit. And a Huey. There's not really much exciting in the helicopter tab there, is ya? I have to admit, those are some pretty smart bombs. It's no Street Fighter character. I'm sure there's some war game mods that actually had some really re-BR skins to these Japanese units. Just like in real life. Hello, and welcome to another Rangaru's unit of the week. And today we're taking a look at the F4 EJ Phantom Fighter, or otherwise known as the Japanese Air Superiority Fighter, available to, well, Japan. So if we want to talk about the F4 Phantom in previous units of the week, so to keep it brief, the F4 was the American second generation all-round jet plane that they used throughout the 60s and the 70s. The major aspect of it is that the original models didn't have a cannon or pretty much any guns whatsoever. It was solely reliant on missiles, as they thought, hey, missiles are all we need now, let's just have missiles, no point even putting a cannon in it. They then realised pretty fast, especially during Vietnam, that having a cannon is actually pretty useful because missiles weren't so accurate in the 60s, and eventually you run out of missiles rather quickly, and so with the F2 model they reinstated a 20mm minigun. Japan would end up buying roughly 100 F4 Phantoms from Lockheed throughout the 1970s, and they do a little bit of upgrading themselves. One of the major ones is the Japanese equipped F4 Phantoms with anti-ship missiles, which is rather smart considering they're an island nation. In-game, the F4EJ is a 90-point air superiority fighter with 3 weapons. So first up, we got that Vulcan minigun, and it's your pretty standard air superiority fighter cannon. Yeah, it does shoot a bit faster compared to regular cannons because, well, it's a minigun. Secondly, we got some AIM missiles with 2.1 kilometers against helicopters, 3.5 kilometers against airplanes, 35 tank accuracy, 4 HE, and 4 rounds of ammunition. Yeah, a bit more on the lower scale, but you usually have enough missiles to eventually kill a target. And finally, we have some good old-fashioned mid-range Sparrows with 7 kilometer airplane range, 35% accuracy, 5 HE, and once again, 4 missiles. Pretty much your standard long-range, or mid-range really, anti-plane missiles, but their accuracy is not so great considering. And we pop down to the miscellaneous stats, no armor as it is just an airplane, 10 HP, 10% ECM, very good air detection with 900 km speed, a turn radius of 400, a time over target of 180 seconds, it can be brought up in all category types of decks, and same with types, there's no real type restriction either. In battle, this really isn't anything fancy, it's a pretty standard mid-range fighter plane. The nice thing is it has short range and long-range missiles. The piss poor thing is they're both pretty damn inaccurate, but you do have quite a bit of missiles, so eventually, if you shoot them enough, you should be able to kill 1 or 2 planes. It's not the best fighter per se for a Blue Dragon deck. You're much better just getting the Japanese F-15 for, well, obvious reasons, but it's not too terrible either. It has a cool paint job, which is pretty cool. And Mr. Aaron, I know you've been wanting this unit a lot, but for fuck's sake, this is the last time I'm going back to Raw Game for Unit of the Week. So with that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as usual, please just take... Oh, we have to continue the rest of units, don't we? Well, I'll see you in a few seconds. Ah, it's Woody Woodpecker. I think I saw this in a movie once where they tried to kill Godzilla.